We leave Friday for Los Angeles to open our spring semester at Palos Verdes Country Club. When you come back and you start the spring, it's always a little bit unknown where your team is. We just had a 35-day break, so we had qualifying this weekend. It went pretty good. We're not totally sharp, but we looked pretty good, I guess, considering. But we're excited about starting the semester. We're a good team, and if we play well at a golf tournament, we have a chance to win pretty much anywhere we go. And like Sean had mentioned, we recently had 3 players invited to the inaugural Women's Augusta Amateur, which is a golf tournament at Augusta National. They play 2 rounds at Champions Retreat, and then if you make the cut, you get to play Augusta National. 72 players in the world were invited. We fortunately have 3 of those on our golf team. That's a big deal, in my opinion. It happens the week before the Masters, and so that golf course will be tuned up. It'll be the real deal. Same condition that the men will see it for the most part. The greens may not be running 13 like they will tournament week, but it will be pretty close to what the men experience. So in women's golf, that was, in my opinion, probably the biggest thing from 2018. 2018 is them announcing this women's championship. Tremendous exposure around the world, and just tremendous opportunity for the women's game. And again, we're fortunate to have 3 players in that field, and they're excited about it. I'm excited about it. So it'll be a great event that they will play, and will supplement our schedule.
You going to carry the bags for any of them?
I will not.
You won't?
I'll be spectating and cheering for them.
Yeah.
I think Caitlin has her father, Emily has her father, and I think Agat is up in the air. She might take a local caddy.
Might be an advantage, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Any other colleges have as many as 3?
There's a couple out there. I haven't researched it. I know Duke has several. I'm guessing a couple of those California schools, Stanford, USC, probably have 3,
Right.
is my guess. There's not many. There's not many that have 3.
I know Fossey from Arkansas will be there, right?
She should be, yes.
Yeah,
It's all these invites are tied to the rankings, the World Amateur Golf Rankings,
Right.
and there's a handful of special invites that they hold on to, but by and large, you better have a pretty strong track record over the past 2 years to receive the invite.
That's going to be quite a field, isn't it?
It will be.
About 30 countries, 25 countries.
That will be the strongest field probably in women's golf in the world.
So which of the 3 are going to win the whole thing?
I don't know. Hopefully one of them.
Now, the first 2 rounds, like you said, are at Champions Retreat, and then Friday, I think there's a practice round before the final round. Will all of them get to practice or even go to Augusta?
The entire field will get to play on that Friday.
Oh, even those that don't make the cut?
Correct.
Okay.
All 72 will get to play on that Friday.
Okay.
And the top 30 that have made the cut will play on Saturday for the final round.
Right.
And that's televised live on NBC for 3 hours, which is really cool.
That's a pretty good recruiting exposure, is it not?
It is.
Yeah. So how did the girls find out? Did they get a phone call? Did you tell them? How did they find out?
They got an invitation. Our Americans received the invitation in the mail.
Okay.
I think Agat, because she was in Paris, may have received a phone call or an email.
Okay.
But that all came out about January 8th, 9th.
So who had the biggest reaction?
Well, my 2 Americans pretty much knew they were getting it,
Right.
so they knew leading up that invite was coming. They were happy to receive it, obviously. Agat was right on the edge of getting in, and so she probably had the biggest emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Just being happy that she got invited, because she was right on the edge of getting in or not getting in based on the rankings.
And how big is this for collegiate women's golf, this event, would you say? It's going to be an annual event, right?
It is. It's an annual event. I think it's huge, simply because it's televised the last day. It's fantastic exposure around the world for the women's game. What will be interesting is it's very close to the ANA, which is a women's major, and several of these players will have to choose. Well, are you going to play in a major, or are you going to have a chance to play at Augusta National? Mm-hmm. And to think that someone might choose to not play a major is pretty wild, but that could happen.
Coach, how much, if any, have you had to pump the brakes and say, okay, guys, we do have a season here that begins well before that, or is this even something that you even pump the brakes on?
I don't pump the brakes. I recruit them on that premise. When you have opportunities like this outside of our schedule, I'm always going to support that. We can make it work. My expectation is not that you play every one of our events, because these three, they'll have to miss our Dallas event. But what are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to say no to play Augusta National? Or are you ever going to say no to play the Avion or the ANA? I will never, ever do that.
Right.
And tremendous experience for these players to be able to play in tournaments like this.
I know you recruit internationally. Do almost all the top programs do that? Recruit internationally, Europe and wherever?
We do.
Yeah.
We're always, any given year, we're looking at around the globe.
Right.
And Caitlin Paps from Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Gad is from Paris. I've got Sarah Kuskova from Prague, Czech Republic. Mm-hmm. Any given year, you're trying to identify the best possible player for your program, mm-hmm. regardless of where they're from.
Right.
And luckily for us, the University of Texas can attract
Mm-hmm.
from all corners of the world.
Coach, I know you said there's been a 35-day break, but what are you kind of hoping to see from them out of this upcoming tournament here?
I'm just hoping for competitiveness. We saw a little bit of rust early in our qualifier, and as we went through this weekend, we just finished yesterday, it was getting sharper and sharper as we go. So I'm just looking for competitiveness when we play, try to reduce unforced errors. And if we do that, then we're going to likely have a chance to compete to win.
What's your expectations from Haley after the way she started the fall?
She's fantastic. And she knows. I mean, obviously she won the Betsy Rawls in convincing fashion. And when she plays well, she has a chance to win, no matter where she's playing. My expectations are the same for her. I know she's a great player, and she knows that as well. It's just staying present, playing, going through your process every week, preparing for the event that's right in front of you, and preparing like you haven't won. Staying hungry,
Right.
and trying to knock out another one.
How would you describe her game and personality?
She's a rock-solid person, great teammate, great personality, terrific student. Her golf game is, I always say two things. She's got great length off the tee. She's a great driver of the golf ball. And then she has tremendous feel in her hands. So her chipping, pitching, and wedge play are great. So great driver and great hands. It's a good combination.
Could she be number one in your rotation as a freshman?
Sure.
Yeah. Did she finish number one in qualifying?
She did not. A GAT won our qualifier.
Yes.
Sorry. I gotta turn this phone off. Sorry. But that I would say the same about the several players on my team. That number one position is a revolving door right now for us.
Yeah.
It could be any of them, and that's a good thing.
Who'd you beat out for Haley for recruiting? Who'd they come down to?
Well, in the end, it was Duke, Texas A&M, Houston. But before that, it was everybody.
Right.
but that she had kind of reduced it down. She really felt like she was going to stay in Texas from the beginning. Duke got in there because it's a great school and great golf program. But ultimately, she's from Montgomery, Texas. She knew she wanted to stay in Texas, and for various reasons, and luckily for us, decided that Austin was the place for her.
Yeah. Will any of your 3 golfers get to go to Champions Retreat before the actual tournament?
That's my hope. We're trying to get them over there. It's a private club, so you have to find a member to host you.
Right.
So that's what we're working on right now.
You got some UT members over there you're hitting up?
We're trying to.
Yeah. Would they get to play Augusta too, or just Champions Retreat?
That one's a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You have to find a member to host you,
Right.
but it's probably the hardest golf course in the world to get on.
Right.
Just a couple more for Coach so we can get the athletes in front of you as well.
You know Darryl Roll turned out an invitation to join, right?
He did?
Yeah. Actually, Edith did.
I think I heard that story.
Yeah. I don't think Darryl was too happy. And have you been there, Augusta?
I have.
Several times?
I've been a handful of times. I've been 3 times
Yeah.
in the practice round for the Masters.
Right. How did Doug end up finishing up this weekend?
He finished 20th.
20. I gotcha. Anything else about this season? There's like 1 or 2 tournaments that were really showcase tournaments for the nation's best golfers.
This first tournament, Los Angeles, is a strong field. It's top 3 as far as strength of field for regular season events. It's a bit of a litmus test right off the bat,
Yeah.
and kind of, at least for this time of year, shows you where you're at comparatively speaking to other teams.
Right.
And then obviously we look forward to our postseason, conference, regionals, and nationals.
I'm sorry I haven't asked this yet about where their games are going at Hagen, Caitlin, and Emily. Where are their games from last year this fall to where they are now?
Well, Emily, 3 of my players went to the Mexican Women's Amateur. Emily had a chance to win down there. She finished 3rd over the break. Haley finished 10th. So their games are in pretty good shape, and they're making it sharper and sharper as we go. Caitlin Papp worked hard through the break. She looks good to me right now. She always looks good. Caitlin does. Her game just doesn't fluctuate very much. And then my Europeans are really solid, despite having challenging weather back in Prague and Paris.
Yeah.
But they're, like I said, a GAT won our qualifier, so it doesn't take her much to get it ready.